Falls. It's now time for One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale. The phone lines are open at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. You can also watch live on the WBVP-WNBA Facebook page. Here is your host, Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. He's ready to take your calls at 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888. Also, make sure you check us out on Beaver County Radio Facebook Live or Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors, the letter E, the letter Z, Home Exteriors. They do roofing, replacement windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior remodeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. We have a lot of guests on today, Ryan.
Yes, we do. How you doing, man?
Not bad.
Right.
But before we get into our guests, there is some news happening down in Kansas City at the Super Bowl parade. What's going on there, Ryan?
As I was leaving the house to come to work, I did see that there was a mass shooting apparently down in Kansas City during the parade for the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. The last I saw, Brian, there was one dead, 9 injured, and 2 people were in custody, the last that I saw.
All right. Our prayers go out to all the people involved and the friends and family of the people involved down there. Hopefully we'll get some more news here and get you guys updated on that. We do have a guest coming on here shortly. We have Ralph Williams from the Sports Corner. You can catch him and Smokin' Jim Frazier, who will be on later today's show. Every Tuesday from 4 to 6. Ralph, welcome to the show.
Hey, you have both of us coming on today. Boy, that's a great one there, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, we have you on now, and then we have Smokin' Jim on after that. And then crazy enough, we have a couple wacky guys from the Two Dumb Yinzers live cast coming on after that. So it is a star-studded.
Oh, what do you got? Mike and Darby, huh?
Yeah. So it should be a good show. First off, happy Valentine's Day to you and your wife, Ralph.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Brian. Thank you.
How long have you two been married?
We just got married in 22.
Oh, okay.
It'll be 2 years this year.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Ryan.
We met in 2019.
Okay, awesome. Do you have any plans for Valentine's Day, or do you do anything special today?
Well, we did most of our stuff yesterday, and then today we just kind of chilled out, and tonight we're going to Lenten services at the church. Okay,
yeah. I got to get to the church after this myself, so I'll be doing that as well. Real quick, I want to get into Pitt men's basketball. It is like the 2 different seasons, starting off 1-5. Now they're 7-6. They won last night 74-63 over the 21st ranked University of Virginia. What's going on there, Ralph?
Oh, Virginia's always a tough team, Brian. Every year they're in the, they either win the ACC tournament or they come close to winning it. They're always in the NCAA tournament. They always, they're a tough team every single year. I'm glad they won last night, and I'm happy for them, and I hope they continue to roll on, because as we talked about last week, they're going to need to win at least 7 to 9 of these games in order to get into the NCAA tournament.
Right. Now, what's the difference between last year Pitt's team and this year? Is it just that they were young and that's why they struggled early and now they're starting to gel?
Yes, I believe that's the case. Plus, Capel switched the lineup around, moved some people around. He had to do that, and in order to get everything together. They weren't playing with intensity. They weren't playing with the grit. And I think now what he has put together is starting to get there.
Right. Well, Saturday they play at 6:30 versus Louisville, who is absolutely atrocious. And then they play Tuesday at 9 o'clock at Wake Forest. Pitt right now is in 5th place. Wake Forest is in 4th. They need that win, don't they?
They need both wins. They need to keep winning, and They need to keep moving because the biggest thing is we discussed today on Messenger. They're going to need to win that Big East tournament. The ACC tournament. They're going to have to win that in order to really sort of cement themselves into the NCAA in a decent position.
Right. So Duke's second. They beat them. Virginia's third. They beat them. Wake Forest is fourth. They've already beat them this year. So they've already beat every team except for North Carolina that's the top in the ACC.
Yeah, exactly. They have to. That's a bugaboo that they can't seem to get off their backs is beating North Carolina. I'm glad that they beat Duke. I was so happy for them to do that. I wish they would have beat them here and in Durham, but instead they beat them in Durham and didn't beat them here. So they split it, and at least they split it. That's better than 0-2.
Right. Sticking with Pitt, although switching to football, Cade Bell, the new offensive coordinator, what do you think, as far as, I guess, excitement, what do you think he's going to bring to the Pitt football program?
Well, it brings a lot of excitement, Brian, but here's the problem. He has to get the athletes in here. All right, we're looking at a go offense, and a go offense is you go. I mean, you run, it requires speed. And we don't have that speed to do the go offense. So Cade Bell's going to have to work with what he has. They're going to have to get these kids up to speed. It's a different type of an offense. It's not a boring power running game. It's a run, go offense is what it is.
Right. So you need the speed and talent to do that.
Right. You can't shove a square peg into a round hole, Brian. You can't do it. It's not going to work.
Right.
Okay. Remember the first year Dave Wannstedt was coach?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he had Walt Harris's players that were used to that passing game and that throwing the ball for 400 or 500 yards and all that other stuff. And then he tried to move into the power running game, and the first couple of years they struggled with it. Well, that's why, because they didn't have the athletes to do it. They didn't have the big offensive linemen, and it took Wannstedt at least 3 years to get that moving. Cade Bell's going to have to really get a lot of good athlete-type players in here to run the go offense.
Right. I mean, Wannstedt's one of my favorite coaches of all time, and he even wanted to run with Dan Marino at the helmet down there in Miami.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, he made some mistakes when he was in the NFL coaching, and he made a few at Pitt. But you know what, Brian? I feel I wanted Wannstedt to stay. I wish Steve Peterson wouldn't have fired him, because he would have still been there today.
Right.
And I think we would have been better off with him, because he would have been like Joe Paterno.
Yeah, it would have been recruited. It would have been easy.
Stay forever.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And he was a good salesman for the university.
Absolutely. Sticking with football, the San Francisco 49ers fired their defensive coordinator after going to the Super Bowl and losing in overtime. Yes.
Steve Wilkes. Oh, my God, that guy. You know what? The Steelers should sign him and fire Terrell Austin. Steve Wilkes is a great defensive line, man. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan said on Tuesday that he was going to keep his coaching staff intact, and then announces today that he's fired.
And then he lied. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Shame on him. I mean,
yeah, that's a shame, man. Steve Wilkes is a good – look at what he did at Carolina after they fired Matt Rule. Look what he did there. They ended up winning 6 games with him. Oh my gosh! How about that parade in Kansas City there, Brian? That was terrible.
Yeah, I walked into the studio today, and a couple of the guys pulled me aside and let me know what was going on. And then when Ryan got here, I was prepping for the show, and he gave me a heads up on what's going on. So yeah, prayers out to everyone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
All right. Good.
Fortunately, that don't happen here. At least we hope it don't again. I got a report I just read today from Pro Football Weekly and or Pro Football Focus. I'm sorry, and they said that it's looking like this trade with the Chicago Bears for Justin Fields and the Steelers is heating up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what does that mean to Kenny Pickett? Right? I guess he just becomes the backup.
Hey, you know what? I don't care who plays as long as we win, Brian. And right now, it looks like Kenny Pickett, might be, walking on eggshells for this coming season.
24 games, and he hasn't shown me anything.
No, he hasn't showed me at all either. And you know what? The Steelers got to fix this because they were the ones that drafted him in the first round when they shouldn't have. And, so that is one of the reasons why the Steelers really need to do this. And the Steelers never want to admit they're wrong, Brian. And this is the reason why where we are where we are with the Steelers.
Well, speaking of organizations not knowing what they're doing, I do want to switch to the Pirates. I guess pitchers and catchers reported to spring training today, and the news is Henry Davis, the number 1 overall draft pick who played right field and hit pretty well last year for us. He was drafted to be our catcher, and according to Ben Cherington and Derek Shelton, who are mangling the Pirates already, Henry Davis is going to start in AAA.
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Yep. I'm assuming because he's not ready to catch, and they've had him for how many years?
Well, he's not ready to catch on a major league level, Brian, because last year they messed it up, putting him in right field. If you're going to bring a guy up like that, I know he can hit, but, you see, he should have been behind the plate, especially after Austin Hedges left. Okay? When they got rid of Austin Hedges, who actually won a World Series, believe it or not.
Right.
When they got rid of Austin Hedges, and they should have immediately put him behind the plate, and they didn't. Okay, they kept him in right field. Okay, I got something for everybody. On my show, February 27th, John Parado and I had a discussion on the phone the other day on the phone. He's coming on the show, and he has a plot from Bradenton, and he's going to tell us something that I heard a rumor of. And but he has to confirm the rumor first. He has to confirm the report. Then he's coming on my show to tell us if the report is true, and it's about Bob Nutting.
All right. I hope it's that he's selling the team, but I doubt that that's going to be it. But
no, it's not that. It's there's some dissension between Nutting and Cherington.
Okay.
But I have to verify if it's true.
All right. Okay? Fair enough.
So, yeah, and so on the 27th, because next week I have an open show. I have no guests coming on except you.
Right.
But I mean, I have no other guests coming on. So it's going to be an open show. But the 27th, I have John Parado coming on from Bradenton. And then also on the 27th, I have Ray Fittipaldo coming on from the NFL Combine. He's going to tell us what the Steelers are up to. So
nice.
Yeah. So
what do you?
That's what I have.
I hear the Pirates have met with Domingo Gurman, who won 18 games in 2019. What are the Pirates doing with their starting rotation, I guess, this year?
Well, they're cheap. And this is something that I'm going to give you a little hint. Everyone says Nutting is cheap, but this report, if it's right, and John Parado is going to give me the details on this, if this is correct, of what the report that I read or I heard, okay, Nutting's not cheap. It's Ben Cherington that's messing up.
Okay. Let's see here. We've got a couple more minutes. On Sunday, the number 68 will be retired for Jaromir Jagr versus the Kings. Tell us a little bit about Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah, he deserves to get his number retired here. He was a staple here in the early 90s when we were going to the Stanley Cup and things like that. I'm just surprised that he's still playing hockey, Brian. But I don't know if you noticed or not. He's been broke his entire life, and the reason is he's an aggressive and heavy-duty gambler. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I know somebody who sat next to him down in Vegas at the blackjack table and watched him put $10 million down. Okay.
Wow.
So there you are.
Well, I guess that's why he is still playing. I guess you got to keep the habit going, right?
Yeah, I heard it was really bad. I heard it was so bad, his gambling addiction. And maybe he just stays in the game for the love of hockey. If that's the case, good for him. He keeps his body in shape, I suppose. And I heard he owns a team now, and he plays for it too, just like Lemieux did, when he owned the Penguins and played. So, but good for him.
Yeah, I guess he's playing over that Czech league, and that's like one of the top 5 leagues in the world still. So he's got to be, still playing at a pretty high level.
Right. So,
All right. Well, Ralph, we appreciate you coming on. I make sure you guys tune in to the Sports Corner every Tuesday from 4 to 6 with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier, who's going to be up next. Any last words, Ralph?
Yeah, I got an update here on this parade here. They said now 1 killed and 9 injured.
Okay.
So, just, in this parade. But I don't have any final thoughts. I want to say thank you, Brian, for having me on. Ryan, always some good time as well.
Of course.
And I want to wish you guys a very happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you're at home with your sweetheart, and I'm here with Brian. So let's think about this.
I know.
All right, Ralph. Take care and have a great night.
Right.
You guys have been listening to
Thank you.
WBVP 99.3 FM and 12:30 AM. We will be right back with Smokin' Jim Frazier on the other side of this.
Variety of hoagies or hot dogs. Enjoy the wedge selections or a mouth-watering dessert. If you need a place to host an event, they've got that covered too. Call the Grumpy Beaver today and become a member of the Grumpy Nation. To keep up with current events, live music selections, and more, follow the Grumpy Beaver on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to check out the Spirit Speakeasy located upstairs behind the red door, Thursday through Saturday at the Grumpy Beaver.
Stop by your local McDonald's today and pick up everyone's favorites, the Shamrock Shake and Oreo Shamrock McFlurry, now available through March 24th. Don't miss out on these fan favorites. Shamrock Shake and Oreo Shamrock McFlurry, now at McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Listening to live sports on the radio in Beaver County is a tradition. This is Craig Fontana from Moon Township Ford, and I ought to know. My dad, Bill Fontana, has called games for over 50 years. Beaver County people know a good call when they hear one, and the best call you can make is to buy your next new or used vehicle at Moon Township Ford. Click moontownshipford.net or visit Moon Township Ford on University Boulevard.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Do you wish that you had the support of a family in your financial institution? You can when you become a family member at Friendly Federal Credit Union. This is Cindy Haladio. If you haven't already applied for membership at Friendly Federal Credit Union, what are you waiting for? It's time for a family reunion. Join the friendliest family in Beaver County. The member owners at the place that makes more sense for you. Friendly Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Giant Eagle has something for all of the sweethearts in your life. From a variety of beautiful mixed bouquets, custom floral arrangements, or a dozen roses for $32.99. Stop by the bakery for chocolate-covered strawberries, and don't forget the assortment of local candies like Anderson's, Rosalind's, and Sarah's. Pick up a candle from Ink's Candle Company, and to top it off, don't forget the bubbly, including wine and beer. Make your Valentine's Day one to remember with a visit to your Aliquippa Giant Eagle.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome back to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. He's ready to take your calls at 724-774-1888 or 724-843-1888. Also, make sure you check us out at Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and or Beaver County Radio YouTube. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Home Exteriors. They do roofing, replacement windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior remodeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. All right, it is the inaugural call-in by Smokin' Jim Frazier. Jim, are you there?
Yes, sir. I tell you what, right now I'm at McDonald's trying to get this Shamrock Shake, and then later on I'm gonna meet Yager at the casino, see if I can get a quick million on the blackjack.
Yeah, you're gonna lay down $10 million with him, huh?
Wow.
You know, Smokin' Jim, I'm surprised on Valentine's Day of all days that we were able to have you on the show. I see on social media that you are always surrounded by the most beautiful women in the greater Pittsburgh area. I mean, it is hundreds of Steel City beauties, right?
And I tell you what, I've been lucky over the last few years. The one thing Pittsburgh has is some of the most beautiful women on the planet, man. And I tell you what, we are lucky to be in southwestern Pennsylvania, especially in the Beaver Valley.
Right. Sometimes it's just great to be alive, right, Smoking Jim?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I want to get into the Super Bowl with you real quick. And there was a point in the game when I knew Kansas City was going to win. Was there a point in the game where you just knew it was going to happen?
Yeah, I knew when Debo couldn't beat nobody one-on-one. I'm like, they're paying Debo $20 million a year, and he's not a number one receiver. They needed a Fred Biletnikoff out there, and he was Dre Archer. They needed Lynn Swann out there, and he was Sammy Coates. So I knew when they stopped going to McCaffrey in the second half, and they didn't go to Kittle at all, that they was going to be in trouble.
Yeah, how do you not hand the ball out to McCaffrey, and how do you not go to Kittle? It was like were they trying to outsmart the Kansas City, or did Kansas City just take them away?
Well, you got a guy that feels he's a genius as a coach, Shanahan. He reminds me of Tom Landry. Don't forget Tom Landry. It took him a long time to win a Super Bowl because he was a genius. No coaches or players could come up to him and approach him and tell him anything. And that's the problem that Shanahan is running into right now. And how you get around that problem, Landry ended up getting Roger Staubach, a true leader. So you got to get a Roger Staubach, or you got to get a Ray Lewis on defense, Brady, or Jack Lambert. You got to get somebody on your team that can get the other players to play above their level if you're going to win with a coach like Shanahan.
Yeah, I guess Shanahan's so smart that he didn't even understand the overtime rules. Well, I knew that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to win when they drove down at the end of the second quarter before halftime and made it 10-3, and they were having the ball to start the third quarter. I said San Francisco blew their opportunity in the first half to jump out to a big lead, and I felt like right at that moment, it was Kansas City's game.
Definitely true. I tell you what, man, I lost a ton of money. I've never in my life, even when he was at Texas Tech, when he signed as a freshman in the freshman of the year, Baker Mayfield transferred without telling anybody to Oklahoma because they knew how great Patty Mahomes was. But I tell you what, God, this was the best chance. BP Express. This was the best chance for somebody to beat Kansas City because they had inexperienced receivers. They're young, and I tell you what, it's going to be scary next year when Kelsey said he was coming back for a three-peat. I said, yeah, next year another 120 million people be watching Taylor Swift.
Mrs. Kelsey at that point, right?
Yeah.
You know what?
I tell you what.
You know one thing, guys?
Have a strong.
Go ahead, Smoking Jim. Sorry.
Neck, because he loses his emotions. He made Joker. I'm not worried about Kelsey, man. He's got no control over his emotions.
True.
You know, the one thing that I did pick out from what you were just saying, guys, is what is it the teams overthink these things? Because you got to remember back in the Super Bowl when Seattle lost to New England and they didn't run Marshawn Lynch while inside the 5-yard line, and that was their bread and butter that got them to that point. Again, as Smoke and Jim was saying, Christian McCaffrey has been this team's bread and butter, and these teams eventually get away from it. Are they overthinking the situation and they just overshoot? Or what do you make of that, guys? Because, you know, we see this a lot, and you think that you would go with what got you there. This is what got you through a whole season. This is what got you to the Super Bowl. And for them to opt out of that you know, out of the Marshawn Lynch situation, or again with McCaffrey, it just doesn't make sense. But if that's what it is, they're overthinking. It's a game of chess, and they just overthink the situation. How do you adjust that? How do you fix that? And how do you make sure that doesn't happen to your team?
Smoke a Jim?
But, man, Shanahan, his biggest problem is he didn't get spanked enough as a kid. Giving the ball to McCaffrey only 2 times in the third quarter. And I know Andy Reid didn't spank his kids enough when they was kids. That's why they in and out of jail. And now everybody thinks they can bump into him. But yeah, you're right. Seattle Seahawks would have had, 2 Super Bowl rings. All they had to do was give it to beast mode.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Want him to be the star of the game. The offensive coordinator wanted him to be the one everybody talks about being a genius. But I tell you what, Brian will like this one. Forget the guy that intercepted the pass on Russell Wilson for New England, Malcolm Butler. Team rules in the future Super Bowl, and Bill Belichick, even though he was an all-pro cornerback, benched him for the entire Super Bowl, didn't play him one play. They lost the Super Bowl, but that's what a true disciplinarian does. I love Travis Kelce. I loved him at Cincinnati. If he would have bumped into me, matter of fact, number one, we'd have been moving some furniture around. We wouldn't have waited for the Gatorade to be thrown, but he would not have played another. I'd have sent him in the stands with his brother and his mama.
Yeah, that's what I said, because I guess he lost his scholarship in college at one point, and his brother had to get it back for him. So this isn't the first time that he's acted up. And if you just nip it in the bud, maybe in the preseason or week 1 or 2, this never happens in the Super Bowl. But yeah, if it's me, not only would he be benched, but he'd be running laps or something during the Super Bowl.
Maybe we never seen it because over the years. 4'9" Eric, the enemy, he was always able to grab his ankle before he got to Andy Reid. So we ain't got Eric the enemy was down there no more. So he was able to get to Andy Reid, but he definitely got an attitude problem, man. So I'm very worried about my Swifties.
Right, absolutely. Switching to your boy, number 90, TJ Watt, I guess he was in Vegas for the award ceremony and decided not to go to because his agent called him and told him he wasn't going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Your thoughts on that and the Browns winning a bunch of stuff they shouldn't have won?
Well, I tell you what, the 2 best players maybe in NFL history both came in the 2017 draft. Offense, Mahomes, defense, TJ Watt. Listen, they stole it from him in 2019. No way he loses it again this past year. I don't blame him for leaving Las Vegas because, you know what I mean? He wasn't going to get the award that he deserves, and he was upset. But I tell you what, man, that 2017 draft is starting to shape up to be one of the all-time greats.
You know
right
who?
Up there with the 83 draft and the 89 draft.
You know who else was in that draft, guys? I thought you were going to say Mitch Trubisky was going to be one of the best players ever out of that draft.
Number 2 overall.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco won Comeback Player of the Year, and that's a great story, I guess. But if I'm Joe Flacco, I say thank you, and I just take the award and I walk it down to Hamlin and hand it to him.
The guy died on the field.
Right.
Nobody ever thought he'd come back. He walked around the whole off season with a life vest on because his heart could go at any time. It was reach out to the organization for people to get checked up, heart awareness, and nobody thought he would come back. No doctor seemed like they would approve. And not only did he come back, he played well enough to call for a fake punt. Maybe that's the reason why he called for a fake punt in the playoffs and didn't get the first down.
I think kind of, guys, what a joke. The only short of Lazarus and Jesus, maybe, do you pick anybody above Damar Hamlin in this situation. Somehow Joe Flacco is unemployed for a couple months. He comes back and does an okay job on a good team. And it wasn't like he came in and he didn't jumpstart a team that wasn't any good. So how he won the Coach of the Year is beyond me, guys. It just seemed like a participation award ceremony for the Cleveland Browns, guys, because they didn't finish in a terrible position for once.
Well, I guess Joe Flacco got his revenge on the University of Pittsburgh, who decided to go with Tyler Palko, of all people, over Joe Flacco. What a mistake that was.
Well, don't forget, fellas, nobody's going to beat Tyler Palko. Probably one of the all-time great high school players for West Allegheny. And I tell you what, man, don't forget Big Ben set the bench until his senior year because he played behind the coach's son at quarterback and went on his senior year to throw 54 touchdown passes as a high school senior. So, hey, man, that's a political position, quarterback. And Pitt was going to move Flacco to tight end. And he says, no, I'll go to Delaware.
Right. Well, we're out of time this segment. We appreciate you coming on, Smoking Jim. You guys can catch him every Tuesday from 4 to 6 on Sports Corner. Any last words?
Don't forget, my favorite player of all time, McCaffrey, was also in that 2017 draft. Check out that 2017 draft. It's shaping up to be one of the best. T.J. Watt, the greatest defensive player ever, and Patty Mahomes, greatest offensive player ever.
All right, that's Smoking Jim Frazier. Thanks again. You guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM. We will be right back in 2 minutes.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Bob. We're retired, and we live at St. Barnabas in the Village.
We used to have a house.
Lived in it for 40 years.
Raised our kids.
But it became too much. The upkeep, the stairs.
Moving seemed like such a hassle. We didn't even know where to start, so we didn't.
Until we met Cindy at St. Barnabas.
She talked us through our options.
Yeah, and she helped us with our move and all the arrangements.
There was so much stuff. Who knew we had 3 fondue pots?
But she made it easy.
So easy.
Now we enjoy ourselves.
Golf, the pool, new friends, shuttles to where we want to go.
The pub and the food.
So good.
There wasn't a long-term commitment or any large fees.
And they have a healthcare system on campus with doctors if we need it. The kids really like that.
The kids like to come and eat with us.
There's an easier, worry-free way to retire at the Village at St. Barnabas. Come visit us for a free and informative counseling session and personal tour.
I can't believe you waited so long.
I can't believe you waited so long.
Visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-443-0700.
Are you ready to start your career journey? Turn your dream into a degree at Community College of Beaver County. With over 35 degrees and pathways in business, health science, STEM, aviation, and more, CCBC can help you navigate to your destination. Which will you choose? Enroll now for spring classes and start your journey. Learn more at ccbc.edu. Real learning for real life.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of low prices at AK Nahas. This President's Day, get a Whirlpool washer with removable agitator for $4.99 or a GE French door refrigerator for only $12.99. Save up to $400 on KitchenAid stainless steel dishwasher with a third rack, only $7.49. Or a GE stainless steel print resist dishwasher for $6.29. Plus free local delivery, setup, and removal. Save more this President's Day only at AK Nahas Appliance, Furniture, Mattress, and TV. You'll do okay with AK.
Now, back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome back to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I'm here at the St. Barnabas Studios. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas, in studio. One of 3 on the Two Dumb Yinzers live cast. This segment and our final segment, we will have all 3 members of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Yes, you heard the math correctly. All 3 members of the Two Dumb Yinzers. You can check them out on YouTube. Make sure you go to their page. It is Two Dumb, D-U-M, Yinzers. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. That's the letter E, the letter Z. They do roofing, replacement windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all your exterior remodeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. Now I get to introduce Ryan, Derpy, and Mike. Derpy and Mike, are you both there?
I'm here. Mike is here.
Derpy, are you there?
I'm here.
You got to say something, Derpy. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
See, a lot of times on the show, getting Derpy's attention, it takes a little special work, and sometimes I can't find him. We could be in the middle of conversation, and I have to send out the Derpy bat signal, is what we kind of coined it, and that's what it is. It is the Derpy call, and that is how he knows to stop whatever he's doing and run and get involved on the show.
How many YouTube channels, podcasts are you doing live right at the moment?
Just this one.
Okay, great. Well, welcome to the show, guys. Mike, as you do on your show, why don't you tell everybody about the website?
The website, the2dumbyinjured.com. Over there, we have all of our links for all of our social media, mine and Ryan's. We have a little merchandise store over there, and we got a blog over there as well. Mike's Random Thoughts is really what it is.
All right, I've got a question for you, Mike. How did this all start?
Oh, God, it was like Ryan and I sitting around the kitchen table just telling stories and people laughing and just going, hey, dude, this will be like a good podcast. And then 2 days later, Ryan's like, dude, I ordered podcast equipment. We're starting a show.
Oh.
So then, like, inner panic attack happened. Like, oh, my God, we're actually doing this.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what happened when I did the radio show.
I got to tell you, Brian, these two guys right now, they do have nervous diarrhea, so don't hesitate to ask them about it because, they are used to the podcast scene. And during the show today, they said, the guy, the radio, it's going to be something different. So don't be.
The only thing here is we have to keep it G-rated, Mike.
I know. I did well today for the last 52 minutes of the show. I kept it clean. I was like Weird Al Yankovic, man. I was working clean as a whistle.
And you've done pretty good in the last 3 minutes of this show, Mike. So you got to, keep it up, man.
Right. Now
I'm working. I'm trying. I'm trying my best.
Now, Derpy, when were you added to the show, and how did that come about?
March last year, I believe. And I was just watching them on YouTube, and they just happened to let me get on the show.
Right.
And we've been going through it.
I appreciate when you're on there. Now, today I was watching the show, guys, and for those of you who don't know, the Two Dumb Yinzers live podcast had their 502nd show today. So this past Monday, you guys celebrated your 500th show, right, Ryan?
Yeah, we did. It's pretty unbelievable, as Mike was saying. To think that you're going to do anything 500 times is pretty crazy.
Especially with Mike.
Especially with Mike, absolutely. And,
you know what's fair enough. I know myself.
But if you think about that, think about any hobby that you have. If you like to play tennis, if you like to collect stamps, no matter what it is, once you get to a 500, you know that you've put your work in. So, obviously at the beginning, we didn't know it was going to get this far, but we are very excited. And at some point, we decided that we were going to take it serious, and we are where we are.
All right. Well, let's get into some sports, guys. Derby, Mike, are you ready for some sports questions?
Oh, yes.
This is not trivia, which is one of my favorite parts on the show, honestly.
You want me to make sure Derpy's available?
I'm ready.
All right. Just got to make sure. All right.
Okay. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they need some positions. Mike, we'll start with you first. 5 positions specifically, like, offensive line is a position, left guard's a position as far as this goes. What 5 positions do the Steelers need to focus on in both the draft and free agency this year?
Obviously, center and left tackle or right tackle, depending on what they're going to do with Broderick Jones. Inside linebacker, definitely. Cornerback and defensive end. Those are my top 5 priorities right there. You can get by with the safeties that they have, but those are my top 5.
Derpy, your opinion on that?
I think Mike got it right on the spot there.
I gotta remind you guys, everybody. Derpy, tell Brian and tell the viewers how old you are, because it's very deceiving a lot of times on the air. People will hear Derpy, they'll say, "Hey, who's that kid on the show?" But Derpy is almost. How old are you, Derpy?
I am turning. I don't even know how. No, I'm.
Derpy,
you have to do the math.
Late 20s.
He's in his late 20s. I do want to put that out there, guys. So if people are listening at home wondering that haven't heard our show before, Derpy is almost 30 years old, guys. So
Derpy,
we did not kidnap a child.
Yeah, Well, Mike, your call. You know what? Brian's going to touch on your college football team in the second segment, so I'll leave that to him.
Right. But I did get a phone call on the way in because it was Valentine's Day. Morgan Gruber called me on the way into the show today, and she wanted me to tell Derpy Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Derp dog.
Derp, that didn't happen, but it could have.
But you know what?
It could have.
She did tell him happy birthday, and it was a pretty amazing moment for Derpy on the show. Morgan Gruber. Of course.
I've had Morgan Gruber on my other show that I had here, so she's a good kid. So hopefully she her singing career keeps going well. All right, back to sports. Okay, I was Googling this past year's draft class, and I accidentally had a typo. And I typed 2003's draft, and Troy Polamalu came up. Ike Taylor was a 4th-round pick, and my favorite backup quarterback of all time, Brian St. Pierre, was taken in the 5th round. Now, my question, we'll start with you, Derpy. Can you grade the draft picks? We'll start with Broderick Jones, his grade for the season.
Mm-hmm. I say B+.
Joey Porter Jr. taken at the 32nd pick because the Miami Dolphins had to forfeit a draft pick. So he was actually in the 2nd round. His dad didn't even know that the Steelers had a pick in the 2nd round. But Joey Porter Jr., his grade.
A-. He proved me up. He proved a lot out of me.
Okay, the 49th pick in the draft in the 2nd round, Keanu Benton.
B.
All right, the 93rd pick in the third round, Darnell Washington.
B+.
And we're going to go with just through the 4th round because I'm not going to get into the 7th round, guys. The 132nd pick, the outside linebacker, Nick Herbig.
I'm going to go B-.
All right, you, Mike. Broderick Jones, the 14th overall pick.
I'm going to go with a solid B. He still has to work on his pass blocking, but solid pick, solid B.
All right, and Joey Porter Jr.?
B+. He proved that he can be a top shutdown corner in the league.
Keanu Benton?
B+. He proved he's the next man on that D-line.
Okay, and the guy that how many times they throw to him, Ryan? 2 times? Darnell Washington.
Yeah, it just seems like it.
God, he's hard to grade. I'm going to go with a C+ right in the middle. Can work on his route running, but run blocking, my God, the guy.
Yeah, he is tough to grade because they didn't throw to him. But the pass blocking, I don't think was there yet. But the run blocking was phenomenal for sure.
Yeah, he feels like a modern day Mark Bruner. He's just going to be one of those run blocking tight ends.
All right, and finally Nick Herbig.
B+. When he was in, he was making plays. Just solid player.
All right, now Derpy, I hear that you are a Cleveland, and I call them the Indians because I'm not into the whole name changing for whatever reasons. I hear you're a Cleveland Indians fan.
Yes.
Could you rate Terry Francona's tenure at the Cleveland Indians? Derpy? An A+. I mean, he won Manager of the Year twice. Unfortunately, he lost to the Cubs in the World Series, right? I mean, that's the only downfall there, right? Yeah. Did you know that Terry is, via marriage, my cousin?
Really?
Yes. My dad's sister, his oldest sister, married Tito Francona, John Francona, Terry's father. Yes.
Let me ask you this, Derpy. If Brian would tell you Happy Valentine's Day, would it be the same to you as Morgan Gruber telling you happy birthday because Brian is related to Terry Francona?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it might come. We still have another 17 minutes or so.
Derpy does come with his own delay button. I just wanted to put that out there.
It's part of your show. It's part of your show.
You're right.
Real quick, Mike, the PMS show, and I don't like to give shout outs to anybody that's not giving me money to advertise. So the PMS show, we all know what that is. What are your thoughts about them bringing in Bill Belichick once a week?
Oh, God. You know what? I kind of like it. You hear from former players that, he has a personality that you did not see in the media. So I want to see how he fits in on that show with that dynamic, and just to hear his thoughts on football. What makes him tick as a coach.
All right, and Derpy, let me ask you a question. Did you enjoy the halftime show of the Super Bowl?
I went in the other room and fell asleep.
It sounds like you enjoyed it. You just didn't watch it.
If I can be.
And I got to say, I did hear on one of your appearances somewhere, Brian, that you have the body that would put Usher to shame. And I find that extremely peculiar because you have the infamous third nipple that nobody talks about that often.
But didn't Chandler have that?
Wow.
He did have that. And you were the only other person that I've ever known that has that. But you did say on your show that, or on a call-in, that your body is
my upper body.
Yeah,
is much better than Usher's.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I could out-skate him and dance. None of this is true, ladies and gentlemen. It's all false.
Yeah, and if you were expecting Brian to take his shirt off in the last segment, I don't think it's going to happen. But hey, it might happen. So stick
honestly,
around.
I pulled up the live feed for no reason, man. Now I'm disappointed.
If they asked me to do my show at the Super Bowl next year, I guess I would have to be topless if they asked, right?
You would, Ryan could come down and rip your top off like an homage.
I can. It could be like Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson, while Derpy and Mike can roller skate around in circles. It would be a big thing. I like it, guys.
Well, guys, unfortunately, we have to go to break, but we will be back. So just hang on there tight, guys. We'll be back in a couple minutes. You guys have been listening to WBBP 99.3 FM and 1230 AM.
Let's get grumped up. Feel like grabbing a drink with friends or enjoying a delicious meal? Stop in the Grumpy Beaver, 234 Bridge Street in Bridgewater. Try a variety of hoagies or hot dogs. Enjoy the wedge selections or a mouth-watering dessert. If you need a place to host an event, they've got that covered too. Call the Grumpy Beaver today and become a member of the Grumpy Nation. To keep up with current events, live music selections, and more, follow the Grumpy Beaver on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to check out the Spirit Speakeasy located upstairs behind the red door, Thursday through Saturday at the Grumpy Beaver.
As your life evolves, so should your furniture. The new Flex modular seating furniture by Flex Steel at AK Nahas changes with your lifestyle. Durable, stain-resistant, sustainable, easily customized. Discover Flex. This President's Day, take an extra 15% off our low price on your Flex Steel purchase and save an additional 10% off your Flex Steel furniture purchase, along with free local delivery and 12-month special financing. Only at AK Nahas. You'll do okay with AK.
Are you ready to start your career journey? Turn your dream into a degree at Community College of Beaver County. With over 35 degrees and pathways in business, health science, STEM, aviation, and more, CCBC can help you navigate to your destination. Which will you choose? Enroll now for spring classes and start your journey. Learn more at ccbc.edu. Real learning for real life.
Valentine's Day is here. Aliquippa Giant Eagle has something for all of the sweethearts in your life. From a variety of beautiful mixed bouquets, custom floral arrangements, or a dozen roses for $32.99. Stop by the bakery for chocolate-covered strawberries, and don't forget the assortment of local candies like Anderson's, Rosalind's, and Sarah's. Pick up a candle from Ink's Candle Company, and to top it off, don't forget the bubbly, including wine and beer. Make your Valentine's Day one to remember with a visit to your Aliquippa Giant Eagle.
Now back to One Man's Opinion with Bryan Pasquale.
Welcome back to One Man's Opinion on Sports with me, Bryan Pasquale. I am in the St. Barnabas studios here. Joining me today is my producer, Ryan Garazunas. Today's show is sponsored by Easy Home Exteriors. That's the letter E, the letter Z. Home Exteriors. They do roofing, replacement windows, doors, and entryways, as well as siding. Easy Home Exteriors is your one-stop shop for all of your exterior remodeling needs. For a free estimate, call 412-678-7008. That's 412-678-7008. Unfortunately, there has been a riot or shooting going on at the Kansas City Super Bowl parade, and Ralph was gracious enough to give me the update. There are 16 injured and 10 of them with gunshot wounds. So prayers are going out to those people involved in the shooting. I guess there's Ryan, there's 2 people taken into custody?
Yes, that was what I heard. 2 people in custody.
All right. Well, joining us for our final segment is the entire trio of The Two Dumb Yinzers, which you can catch on YouTube Monday through Friday from 11 till noon. I usually, when I tune in, I usually catch it. It doesn't start at 11 typically, a few minutes after 11, and then it runs usually to about 12:10 or 12:15. Is that right, Ryan?
Yeah, that's accurate. And that is nothing more than the people from the show literally taking their time and not getting to work on time. So I wanted to throw that out there.
You're projecting some of those issues onto us.
All right. Well, Mike and Derby are here on the phone with us, and Ryan is in studio. We're going to have a little bit of fun. I was just thinking about this today because I want my audience to get to know you guys a little bit outside of just the X's and O's of sports. I would like to know your favorite sports movies. We'll start with you, Mike. Your favorite football movie.
Varsity Blues. I just love it.
A tan.
It has perfect. My God, whipped cream bikini. You got James Vanderbeek, Dawson's Creek in there.
You like James Vanderbeek in a bikini, Mike?
Sheesh.
Well, hey, it was just it's just a good movie. It's funny. The football scenes weren't over the top, so it's just a solid football movie. It's my favorite.
Derpy, your favorite football movie?
All right. Remember that part we worked on where you put your mouth in front of the microphone?
You got to talk.
Remember the Titans.
Okay, there you go.
All right, Derpy, that's mine. That's so we tie on that one. Ryan, what is your favorite football movie?
I like the movie from the 90s, Necessary Roughness. Very, very one of my favorite movies of all time. Actually, it had the model. What was her name? The model that was the kicker.
Kathy Ireland.
Kathy Ireland.
And that guy from Quantum Leap was the quarterback, right?
Yes, it's almost like he leaped right into that time of that movie. But yes,
he was like 50.
Yes.
All right, we're going to start with you on this one, Derpy. Your favorite baseball movie and why?
Major League.
Oh, Derpy, we're like batting 2 for 2. I mean, we might be like cousins or something.
You guys like twins.
All right, Ryan, what is your favorite baseball movie?
Major League 1 is my favorite baseball movie. Way better than Major League 2, and I think just far better than any other.
What was it? Omar Epps replaced Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, yeah, and of course Charlie Sheen. You can't replace that character. But my favorite baseball movie of all time was Major League 1, the original.
Yes. Mike, your favorite baseball movie?
It's a clean sweep, boys. Major League. Yeah. How can you not like Major League?
A true underdog tale. You know what I mean?
Mike, I cut my hair similar to Charlie Sheen. And I had my hat on. I didn't think my dad would notice. He literally, during a baseball game, ripped my hat off, and I don't think I played, and I sat on the bench, and it was just awful. All right, Ryan, we're going to start with you on this one.
Yes.
Your favorite hockey movie?
I haven't seen a lot of hockey movies. I'm going to go with the Mighty Ducks, because I know that is one that I saw. People are going to say, why didn't you go with that, the USA, the Miracle? But you know what? I'm just... What I enjoyed and what everybody else enjoys might be different. My favorite would be the Mighty Ducks if I had to pick something.
All right. Mike, your favorite hockey movie?
Got to go with the classic, Slapshots. To me, there's been no better hockey movie. It was like the perfect encapsulation of minor league hockey at that time.
It's
a great cast, it's a great movie overall.
My sources are telling me that they're going to do a Slapshot remake.
Well, they made Slapshot too, and that movie was terrible. And how can you remake Slapshots without the Hanson brothers?
Right. I got to see them play. What's the Robert Morris down there on the little island there in the river?
Yeah,
they came in and did a charity event, and I went
them down there before.
And it was so ridiculous because it was like. I don't know if it was staff. I don't know who they were playing, but they could skate and pass. It was night and day how good they were, even at their age. Derpy, your favorite hockey movie?
Mighty Ducks 2.
The second one.
Interesting.
Yeah, the second one.
Was there a girl in that one?
Yeah, I believe she was in the second one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little older, and I kind of missed out on the Mighty Ducks movies.
Yeah.
That's the one where they represent the country, I believe.
Yes.
See, I was just on the edge of that. I was just on the edge, Brian. And that, again, I'm not really into hockey movies, I guess. That's just one that I have to go with by default.
All right. Well, I love Miracle. When he has them doing I guess we're not allowed to call it suicides anymore, but when they were doing the skating suicides because they were looking over girls in the stands and they tied somebody and the coach just, and he stands up and finally says, Rizzioni, I played for the United States of America, and then that was the end of that. So that was a great scene. All right, Mike, moving to golf, your favorite golf movie?
I'm going to go off the board here. I don't think a lot of people have seen this one, but Tin Cup, the one with Kevin Costner, Beau Bridges, Cheech Marin.
And my girlfriend, Renee Russo.
Renee Russo, yeah. Oh, my God. Huge crush on her. But, yeah, I thought it was a fun movie. Had sports, had comedy, had drama, a little romance, had everything. Like, if you like movies, it was like a really good movie overall with sports in there. But I love it. I think it's a great movie.
And Don Johnson was such a great bad guy, right?
Oh, he was such the perfect foil.
He was almost as bad as Shooter McGavin.
No, it wasn't Shooter McGavin level, but yeah.
All right, Derpy, your favorite golf movie?
The Greatest Game Ever Played.
Yeah, that's a good one. Ryan, your favorite?
Ooh, yeah.
I don't. Well, I want. Listen, I'm into sports. I don't watch golf movies. Okay.
Happy Gilmore.
That's gonna be my pick.
Happy Gilmore.
That will be my pick by default because again, I haven't seen many golf movies. I wasn't aware that there was many golf movies out there. But you got to go Happy Gilmore if you're talking golf, right?
I picked Tin Cup myself. So that everybody will remember the 12 on 18, right?
Yep. Oh, hey, he made it in. Doesn't matter that it was 12.
All right, we're going to go to you, Derpy. The basketball, your favorite basketball movie?
I feel like I'm expected to say Hoosiers, but I like Coach Carter.
Okay. Hey, you like what you like, right?
Right.
Ryan, I know you. Are you going to tell me you don't watch basketball movies?
Basketball movies are my favorite.
Oh, okay.
They are my favorite, and I can do this one very easily without even hesitating, guys. The best basketball movie ever in the history of ever would have to be White Men Can't Jump. Unrivaled, undisputed. White Men Can't Jump. Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, hands down, guys.
All right, Mike, your favorite basketball movie?
White Men Can't Jump was up there for me, but I'm going to go with Finding Forrester. It's basketball related. Main character played basketball. It has Busta Rhymes and Sean Connery. How can you not like that movie?
What a duo.
What a duo. They actually had screen time together, and it was a very, very good scene. Busta Rhymes held his own.
You know what movie I would say was a close second? Would you ever see Sunset Park, where Carla from the movie Cheers she came in to coach the urban high school kids?
Yeah.
And that is a really good movie, guys. Sunset Park. I will never forget that movie.
Carla was such a mean waitress.
She was a mean waitress, but she was a good basketball coach.
All right, so my pick for basketball movie is also White Men Can't Jump, Ryan. I'm surprised, though. I'm very surprised nobody said Space Jams.
Yeah.
Like Space Jams, Air Bud.
Air Bud.
Yeah, Above the Rim was a good one with Tupac back in the 90s.
All right, we're gonna finish these questions with your favorite sports movie, Ryan, and some other sport that we didn't discuss.
Oh, geez. Favorite sport movie and another sport that we didn't discuss. Oh, and you had to come to me first.
We can come back to you.
I need a lifeline. I can't even.
Mike, we're gonna switch things. We're gonna call an audible. Omaha. Mike, your favorite sports movie that we didn't discuss?
It has to be Rocky 2.
Rocky 2? So you didn't like when Rocky lost?
Yeah, it's Rocky 2 all the way.
All right, nice pick. Derpy, your favorite movie that we didn't discuss yet?
There's a 7-second delay. Hold on.
He makes you wait on the edge of your seat.
He does.
He does. He builds the anticipation.
Derpy, we have 2 minutes on this show left. What is your favorite movie?
Rocky 4.
All right.
Oh, my. Down with communism, right?
I like, Brian, you don't even have to ask, Dodgeball. With Ben Stiller.
I forgot about
if you got to
dodgeball.
pick something outside of your major four sports, I could say that I did see, and I did enjoy the movie Dodgeball.
All right, mine was Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit, all right.
You know, it was about the depression and just a little feel-good story about all the people going through hard times, I guess, back then. And it was a good movie, really good movie. All right, so to wrap up this show, I would like to thank Ralph Williams from the Sports Corner. You can catch him every Tuesday from 4 to 6 here on WBVP. And I'd also like to thank his co-host, Smokin' Jim Frazier, for coming on. But I really would like to give a special thanks to the threesome.
Oh, why do you gotta say it like that?
Yes, the threesome. We're keeping it G-rated, Mike. The threesome of the Two Dumb Yinzers with Derpy, Mike, and Ryan. Thank you very much for coming on, guys.
No problem.
Thank you for having us, man. Appreciate it.
And guys, thank you for keeping it clean and not saying anything crazy, and making me have to reprimand you in the morning, Derpy. So it was a lot of fun. Thanks for calling in, guys. And Brian, thanks for having us.
Yeah, and Mike, you lucked out because I didn't get into whenever you used to volunteer for the Jerry Sandusky Foundation, so we didn't get into that. Next time you come on, we will dig into that, sir. All right. Special thanks to Derpy, Mike, and Ryan from the Two Dumb Yinzers. You can check them out on YouTube every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. till noon. You guys have been listening to WBVP 99.3 FM and 1230 a.m. We will see you back here in 167 hours.
You've been listening to One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale on Beaver County Radio. Don't forget, you can watch the show on WBVP-WMBA Facebook page anytime. Tune in next Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for One Man's Opinion on Sports with Bryan Pasquale on Beaver County Radio. You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.